Hi, today I'm going to demonstrate how to repair wiring using a Western Union solder splice. In an automotive application, a lot of wiring is located outside the vehicle and it's subject to the elements, moisture, salt, so it needs to be sealed up properly. So whether it's carrying a signal for a computer or just powering a headlight, it needs to have a good connection and it needs to be watertight. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to repair wiring. So here are some of the tools. These are the tools we're going to use today. So I've got a soldering gun, side cutters, wire strippers, a micro torch, safety glasses, and a utility knife. And the supplies we're going to use, we've got rosin core solder, little piece of heat shrink tubing, some plastic conduit, and electrician's tape. So I have a wiring harness out of a truck, and it's to power a fuel pump circuit. And I've braided the wire a little bit just to demonstrate how we're going to do this wiring repair. Lots of times if a wire like this would be rubbing on something made of metal, it'll chafe it and rub through, and that will cause usually a fuse to blow or something like that, or some sort of a failure. So right here is where we've got the chafing, and I'm going to show you how to repair it. I'll just put this under here so it's easier to see. Okay, so what we're going to do, so get a little bit of length here. Now in some cases you don't have the luxury of being able to just pull the wire across to get more length. If you can't do that, you're going to have to splice in a section of wire. Okay, and when I strip the wire, I'm going to take back about 3/4 of an inch on both sides. And when I remove that piece of insulation, I'm going to just twist it gently and pull. And that helps keep the strands together. Now before I forget, I'll slide the piece of heat shrink tubing on. Now this piece of heat shrink tubing, it comes in all different sizes. This is a little bit bigger than I would like, but it's all I had available to me. Now this is a part of the splice. So what we do is we make an X, and we're going to twist the two ends of the wire around each other, just like that. Okay. Now, get the solder. So we'll just warm up the gun here. And you'll start to see it smoke as it comes up to temperature. Just like that. And we'll carefully heat the wire. Now if you watch carefully, you should see that solder flow through the wire. Just like that. And that is a good demonstration of what happens if you have bare wire on the vehicle and it gets wet. The water will do exactly that. That water will just wick its way right up the wire, and it can come all the way to the terminals at the end and then get into the component it's plugged into. Okay, so now I'll get that heat shrink on there. Move that up. Now using a micro torch is not always the recommended procedure for doing this. If you are in an area where you're working around fuel vapors or anything combustible, it can be a hazard, so you'll have to find another heat source. Notice with this heat shrink, that white coming out, that's sealing the wire. That's going to be our watertight seal for this. Now I'm just going to pull this back into the harness, like so. Now we'll get our electrical tape. Now when you put the tape on, you want to go on a little bit of an angle and stretch it very slightly. And And what that does is it helps keep the harness held together firmly. So I'll run that up. Another nice thing with the solder splice is if you have more than a few wires, it makes the harness still fairly slim. If you use a bunch of connectors, it tends to bulk it up. Okay, so now that's where our connection is. I've got the conduit. So I'm going to install some conduit because the problem originally was with chafing, which means the harness was rubbing on something. Okay, so I don't want that to happen again. And then just to attach that, put tape on, and there's a separation in the conduit. We'll slide that up, like so. So that tape comes through the separation, and just give it a couple of wraps. That makes for a nice clean job. And then you do the same to the other end. Like so. So there you have a repair. It's watertight, it's got a great electrical connection, and where it's rooted through the frame system, we know that it's not going to get abraded again. Okay, so just to recap then, we did a Western Union splice. The tools we used were the soldering gun, wire cutters, wire strippers, utility knife, safety glasses, and a microtorch. And the supplies were resin core solder, heat shrink tube, electrical tape, and plastic conduit. Thanks for watching. See you next time.